Today I'm sewing a reusable car trash bag that you can hang over your seat or your gear shifter. And I'm making this for my stepdad, so I'm using some of this Houston Astros fabric that I've left over. I've put the measurements for the pieces of fabric on the screen in case you'd like to make this too. For this strap, I cut out the size and then folded it in half, pressed it, folded it in half again. Then I took my outer fabric and my cotton batting and I traced out some lines where I'd like to quilt. If you were using a fusible product here, you wouldn't necessarily have to quilt unless you like the look of it. And here I'm sewing my quilt lines. I repeated this for both of my outer fabrics. And then I cut my batting a little bit large. Normally you do that because it kind of shifts as you sew it, so then I just trimmed the batting, put those right sides together, and pinned along 3 edges. You'll want to leave one edge completely unsewn and make sure you backstitch at the tops. Now I'll do the same with the lining fabric, but this time we're going to pin it a little bit differently. This is also going to be sewn on 3 sides, but we want to leave about a 3-inch gap on the bottom. Here you can see what that looks like. And I also sewed up the strap on the folded edge. Then I took my outer fabric with the batting. I pulled the seams apart in the corners, making sure that they were lined up. And then I clipped them at the top, and what we're going to do is box our corners. So we want everything laying flat, and then I measured 2 inches from the clip and sew along in a straight line, making sure to backstitch, and we do this on all of our pieces. Once you have that line sewn, you can clip the corner and just leave a little bit of a seam allowance left. Now we have our 2 pieces. Here I'm folding the exterior fabric right side out, making sure to pop out the corners. And then I take the lining fabric and wrap that around the exterior fabric. Here I'm making sure that I'm lining up my seams, and I'm going to start pinning along this top edge. And here we also don't want to forget to insert our strap. So on one of those flat sides, I insert the strap and sandwich it between those 2 layers, making sure it's not tangled up. And I've sewn along that top edge with a 1/4 seam allowance. And then we can pull everything right side out. We'll still have a hole on the bottom of our lining, so you'll want to stitch that up really quickly. And then you can fold your lining back down. At this point, your bag is mostly done, but I decided to fold the lining up a little bit to create this rim and did a top stitch all the way around. And here is my finished bag. Thanks so much for watching.